Howdy, folks. This is Jeff Canada. This is my podcast called Behind the Song, where we nerd out all about songs. That's it, just the song. Yo, folks, welcome to another episode of Behind the Song with me, Jeff Canada. Welcome. Just a real quick, I just want to give a real quick shout out to my sponsors real fast. Barsh Auto. They do a lot to help me out, so thank you very much. Hoffner Knives, thank you very much. I love you guys. Red Dirt Shirt Club, thank you guys. Love you too. So those are my sponsors. Go check them out. BarshAuto.com, HoffnerKnives.com, and RedDirtShirtClub.com. Go check them out. I am here this week, or today's episode is with my friend from Alabama, Mr. Joey Collins. He came in to open up the show at Do-Si Do last night, and which I don't know when this will come out, but September 1st. He opened up the show along with Caleb Holscher and Chris Cunningham, and they killed it. It was a great night. Couldn't ask. I wouldn't have changed anything about last night, I don't think. So anyway, without further ado, Mr. Joey Collins.
How's it going?
What's up, dog?
Oh, just happy to be here, man.
Yeah? You look tired.
Last night, dude, I'm so tired. I didn't sleep. I got back from that show last night, and I just couldn't. My mind was everywhere. It was crazy.
It always, on those type shows, like just a normal show, I'd never have a problem unwinding. But man, when it's that kind of show, it's like something about it just, I can never go home and just chill. It's like,
even like on the bar gift front, like the high energy stuff, it might take me a little bit to wind down. But dude, it's just, dude, so many emotions from last night, and just, dude, it was. I got back, dude. I got emotional. Like I sat on the bed and like cried for like 20 minutes.
Really,
like, dude. Like, just never in my life. We were stressed out because the hotel thing wouldn't let us check in, and we were like showering. Also, one of the first things that was said to me when I walked in the venue was like, "Hey, dude, like you don't have to worry. Like this is your home tonight. You're at home tonight." And I was like, okay. And it was just like an instant weight off my shoulders, and the whole night felt that way. Because the moment, like even before we come up, there was like 4 or 5 people that walked out. I was like, "Hey, man, like seen you on Facebook," or "Hey, I saw you in your birthday show." It was like, "We were really hoping you were going to be here." And I was like, "Oh, wow. Okay, cool." And then like after the show, just getting flooded, dude, at the merch table, and just like everybody coming up and saying, "Hey," and like just these people that like, dude, it was a lot. And we got back, and I was like, dude, like it just, one of the first times like I actually felt at home in a long time, especially at a gig, man. Like it's just,
it all starts with Chelsea.
It was overwhelming.
Like when you walk into that gig, and Chelsea is the hospitality manager at Do-Si Do, and she wasn't there the first few times I played there, and then all of a sudden she starts working there, and it's just like,
dude, she was a lifesaver.
And is she the one that told you, don't worry, you're home, you have nothing to worry about? Yeah, she's fantastic, man. That venue is just, it's, people don't understand until you experience it.
Well, then it's like a walk in, you look on the wall of all the artists that have played there, and there's like Ricky Skaggs and
Vince Gill,
Kembo, Vince, like all these like just artists that I've looked at, even some of the more modern people like American Aquarium and stuff like that. I was just like,
dude, Kiefer Sutherland played there.
Oh
the God. Bacon Brothers, like anybody who's into writing, like songwriting, has played there. It's just such a cool venue, man. Like, and I have history there. Yeah, you know what I mean. And then my fan base, dude, like it wasn't a lot of people. It was like 125, 150, something like that. But I don't have a huge fan base. Like I don't have a touring fan base. But man, like my fans are so cool, dude. They're so loyal, and it was just a perfect crowd.
Yeah, everybody was incredible. Like everyone I met really cool people too, man. Like
good, man.
It was awesome.
That's how it starts. That's what I tell everybody all the time. You know, I don't. I'm not going to do that on this podcast. I don't rail and complain about the industry on here or at all anymore. I just don't do it. We are where we are, but I think that we're not meant to be trying to get people 1,000 miles away to notice us. I don't think that somebody that lives in New York has the same values that I do, and so I don't expect them to become a fan of who I am, right? I think we're meant to go out and touch hands and like
definitely
and like meet people and have an impact on, like, it's very hard to have an impact on someone's life through telephone screen like you can like what we did last night. Mm-hmm. You know, like we touched people. I mean, there were tears, there was laughter, there was like all the emotions we took like between you guys, and then we took that crowd just on a journey, man. Mm-hmm. And I guarantee you the people that were at that show were just as worn out afterwards as we are, because that's what's special about those listening rooms, man. And I only know of 3 that are like that, and that's one's there. One is called Main Street Crossing in Tomball.
Okay.
I haven't played there yet. It's a little bit smaller capacity than the big barn is at Do-Si-Do. And the other one is the Redbird in Braunfels.
Dude, I want to play Redbird so bad.
But I know that there's plenty more out there, and I want my JD Graham. I've become.
I love JD.
I wouldn't say we're buddies, but we're friendly, and that's all he does is play those rooms. He refuses to play anything that's
my goal. Like I was talking with Josh from Taylor Honeycutt, or her husband. I was like, dude, don't be wrong, it'd be cool if it happened, like playing the big rooms and stuff, like with the band. But dude, the listening room, it's my strong suit. It's what I love doing.
Absolutely.
JD, man, dude, I want to see him so bad.
Well, so the next show we have there, it was supposed to happen. What we were supposed to do is I was going to have y'all 3 open up, and then it was going to be me, Peyton Howie, and JD Graham close the show. But the owner of Do-Si-Do had an accident during the hurricane, and he's the one that kind of runs all that stuff, and he just wasn't answering emails, so we couldn't make it work. And it's fine, but the next show that I have there, I'm really hoping it's me and JD Graham.
One of my favorite writers doing it right now.
He's so good.
That song on the new album, End of a Rope, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And have you seen him live yet?
No,
like, I mean, when you're it's a whole nother thing when you see him live. Like the pain and the realness of the stories, and you can, and also, man, you can like tell, because he's had it pretty rough.
He's been through some stuff,
but of his own doing. You know what I mean? But he doesn't try to. He's not trying to pretend it's somebody else's fault. He's like living it, and he's trying to, he's preaching his gospel, if you will. You know what I mean? He's like, this is what I went through, and I don't want anybody else to have to go through this. And so these are my stories. And man, just such a cool dude. But hey, this is not about that, and it's not about the industry. It's not about any of that. This is about you and your song, Better Man. So first time, Better Man is what I think got me onto you.
Probably, yeah. It's not the first one. I put out 2 almost as a tester just to see how everything worked, because I was nervous.
Was that about the time we started talking?
Probably.
Yeah.
And so I'd put like 2 out, and I took them down because the quality just wasn't there. We did it at my buddy's house and just kind of rushed through it, and I was just trying to get something out because people were telling me to put something out. Right. So I ended up taking those down, and then Better Man was the first one I put up after. And like even trying to get it done and recorded, I tried to do it myself, and I've spent months and months and months. I'm like, I can't get it. Yeah. And then finally, I'm scrolling through some website looking for a producer to do it for me because I knew I wasn't going to get it. And the whole time I'm thinking about it, there's a Abe Partridge song called Young Love, and I love the style of it. And I'm trying to I'm like, man, I just wish I could get that guy. And I'm scrolling through, I think, Sound Better, and through producers, and I look at the credits and it says Abe Partridge. I'm like, all right, let me look. And I clicked on it, and it was Sean Byrne, who's incredible. And it was the song that I was like, oh, I want this modeled after it. And I was like, oh, dude, I got to hit him up. So I hit him up and emailed him, and like the price was even better than I thought it was going to be. Like I was like, there's no one to be able to afford it, but I've got to hit him up. Like I can't.
Yeah.
I can't not do it. And I did, and it just worked out. And dude, I got that thing back and cried the first time. Like that song's so personal to me. Like it had to be right when it came out. So.
Yeah, and how soon did that song come out before you came and played with me at Sawyer
I
Park?
released it unintentionally, but I released it the day that we came and played with you. It came out.
Oh, so it was right then. But I had already had it because you sent it to me.
I think so.
Yeah. So I already had the song, and I really wanted to talk to you about that song. I mean, I want to talk to you about a lot of your songs. I mean, the song you wrote about your grandpa, the Somewhere in Montgomery, like that song's amazing. But this podcast is about just one song.
Man. Yeah.
Better Man. Better Man's the song. That's what we're talking about. So when you're writing the song, so your writing process, are you kind of all over the place how you write, or do you have like a process in which you go?
It really varies, especially now. So at first writing, like I never wrote to put songs out. Like I wasn't a bar musician. I played in church. My dad's a pastor, and I just played at his church and always loved music. And I was just going through stuff, and I needed an outlet, and I had a guitar and was like, I guess I'm going to pick around and just get my feelings out. It was just a way to not keep my stuff in. And so it was like, if I'm writing, I'm crying on my guitar. Like, it was bad. Like, if I'm writing, I'm depressed to a point that I shouldn't be, or sad to a point that I shouldn't be. Something's going on.
If I'm writing, I'm crying.
Yeah.
It's a line, bro.
Dude.
It's a line.
And so then it was like, I don't want to be in that mindset every time I write music. So it was like, I started trying to take other people's stories and write from their viewpoint. So I didn't have to have a messed up mind every time I wanted to write a song.
Yeah.
So now the process can be a little different. It really just depends. It's kind of like everyone, like I'll hear something or I'll see one little line on something and write it down in my notes, and then later I'll come to it and just base a whole song off that one little thing, or tried the co-writing thing once or twice. I think I played one of the co-writes last night. I've only got 2.
Yeah.
So trying a bunch of different stuff now, like even different instruments. Like, I don't play mandolin, but like the other day I was like, man, I'm just on block. I need to write a song. I just need to, like, I don't know, a fresh mind or just something new.
Yeah.
So I just grabbed a mandolin, just looked up a couple chords and started messing with it and tried writing something off that just to switch it up. So my writing process it varies.
Yeah.
I'm still kind of refining it, I guess.
Well, I think a lot of the writers are, when I wrote the album Wishing Well, I would sit down and I wrote that whole thing just in silence with no instrument at all.
Oh my gosh.
So I wrote the whole record.
See, that I can't imagine.
Just like melodies. And I still write that way, but now, because I write every day now. And so now it's like, now I can pick up a guitar and write about anything. And I don't really have to get into a mindset. But, used to, what I would do, 2 different tricks is, one, I would watch a movie that I've never seen before. It had to be something I've never seen before. And it would kind of like get me in kind of some sort of a mood, but it would clear myself of all the other. It was like to me, watching movies, I'm a huge movie buff. So to me, watching movies is kind of like a mind reset for me.
Makes
and
sense.
a lot of times I leave that experience, that watching the movie is just, and then sometimes I'm like too happy, so I don't write something. And so that's one way. Another way is I will put on my headphones and I'll listen to music for an hour of stuff I've never heard before. Like, not anything on my playlist, and I'll just go down some rabbit hole and I'll just look up lyrics and and then afterwards I'll sit down and something will click,
I was doing watching artist interviews. And then hearing them tell stories, not necessarily about their song, but just in general.
Yeah.
And you'll be like, oh, my grandmother and something. So I remember watching one with Brent. It was an interview with Brent Cobb, and he's just telling some story about his grandmother or something. I was like, oh, like one little thing he said stuck with me, and I started a song off it. I can't remember if I ever finished it, but I don't know, man. It just varies. The process, I feel like it's different for everybody. But I feel like it's different for every song too, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like there's times I sit down and the song just comes out in 5 minutes, and there's times where I wrote the verse and chorus a year ago, and then I finish it later.
Dude, I have so many songs that are like that I'm like, I really want to write this song. I have this song called Black Sheep, and I want to write it so bad. And I'll finish it, but then I can't. It's like, it's not what I want it to be.
Yeah.
And I have one called Eatin' Crow I've been working on for like a year and a half.
I want to hear that. Yeah.
And I can't. I'm just like, maybe we'll after this we'll sit down and
maybe
pick and grin. That does happen. I mean, I call it the bone pile. Like in my phone, I have just so many skeletons of songs.
Yeah.
And
I've got some I even started recording.
Yeah.
And they're just sitting there on a laptop, and whenever I feel like finishing them, I guess I'm going to finish them. I don't know.
But that's what's cool about on an iPhone. I don't know if Androids do it as opposed to write, because I stopped writing everything in a notebook. I used to write everything in a notebook.
Same.
But the problem with that is to go back and find something, it's almost impossible. But if you write it in the notes of your phone, you can just search any word and it'll pull up. So even something that I wrote 5 years ago is in that bone pile, but I'll remember, man, I had a song and I'll remember just one line of it, and I can just type in just a few words and it pulls up, and I'm like, there it is. And
that's what I started doing probably last year, the year before. I was using more of the notes on my phone.
Yeah.
And I still got like a little leather bound book. Like when I finish the song, I'll go and put it in there, or something like that. But
I don't do that because my handwriting's so bad anyway that I can't even read it.
And then I've got a pile of just random notebook paper that I just pulled out from places because it was like, and it just jotted it down, and then it's like, the verse of one is like on this page, and the chorus is on the back of another one, and then it's like, I wrote a bridge, which I almost never do, and then put it on another page, and it's like finding the pieces and putting them together. It's so hard. Like, I got to do the notes on the phone. It's way easier to find the missing pieces.
Little songwriter tip right there for you. I know a lot of people like to write it down in a notebook and still do that. I'm not saying don't do that, but I think now there's an app that you can write it down in your notebook and then you take a picture of it and it'll
I
transcribe
think
it into your
even
notes.
notes, like if not,
What?
it'll let you at least add the picture to the note.
Oh,
But,
really? Yeah, I'm not
or
sure.
something
how
like
that
that.
works. You know, I'm so down and out on technology right now
Mm-hmm.
because just I think it's ruined us. But there are certain
Yeah.
things that are awesome.
No, for sure.
You know, I was thinking about that on the way over here, like the key fob of a car. Like I don't even know the last time I stuck my key in my car to unlock the door. Like that's a technology that's awesome. You know, or the notes on your phone. That like there's certain things that is awesome.
Definitely.
Certain things are like self checkouts. You know what I mean? Like this is back to Better Man. What is your favorite lyric in that song?
Yikes. Honestly, probably the first line. I think the blues become my favorite color because it's a feeling that I feel the most
Such
inside.
a great line.
And it's like it started off with my favorite line in the song, which is so weird. But the song itself, like I don't know, like it's a hard one. Like for sure, writing it was rough because it's about a buddy of mine that took his own life, and we were talking about writing songs together like forever, and we were gonna get up and do it, and we just never did. And we gigged together for a few years, and actually his first gig was with me. I found that dude. I'd left a gig in downtown Pensacola, and he was busking on the side of the road. I'm a little drunk, and I'm walking by, and I'm like, I turned around and went back and was like, dude, this dude's really, really good. I'm like, holy crap. So I sat and listened to like 2 songs, and I stumbled up to him at the end, like at the end of one of them, he played House of the Rising Sun. And I was like, dude, like, you're incredible. Like, where do you play? He goes, here. I was like, you don't play like out? Like, you don't do gigs or anything? He goes, no. I'm like, dude, you want to? And got that little look on his face, like, oh, I hear this all the time, like type thing. And I was like, no, dude, like, what are you doing this date? Like, I'm free. I'll split my solo pay with you. It's a little bar gig.
Yeah.
And I think we split like $125 or something.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, like, I'll bring you out. Like, come do it. Like, you should be doing this. And brought him out, like, helped him buy his first PA and, like, shot him to his first couple venues and stuff.
Oh,
And before you know it, he's playing full time.
Yeah.
And then he's one of those people that, like, I don't think we could have done anything to make him feel like he belonged here. Like, just something wasn't right. And one of the most loved people I've ever met, incredible person, and he just had his demons and couldn't deal with them anymore. And we never wrote together. And so a few weeks or however long, I can't remember, after he passed, we were going through some of his things. We found like a little postcard, and it had a line that said, "The man I was thought that he knew the man I was going to be." And it was in the midst of a bunch of other lyrics of like unfinished songs, and the whole thing was talking about like not being good enough.
Yeah.
And like he was getting married, like the week after like he did it. Like he was, I think, like a week and a half from his wedding date when he did it, and his fiance come home and found him. And so the whole song kind of just came from where his mind state was, you know, the night that he did it. And it was cool. Like I got and as cool as that situation can be. But I remember.
Well, I mean, you have something that forever now.
Yeah,
from
and it was
that
like, dude, and I
experience.
sat down. I didn't want to bug anybody like close to the house or anything, so I went up. I've got keys to my dad's church. I just went up there because I do a lot of work for them, and I went up there. I grabbed his guitar, and I sat down and just started playing. And I knew what I was upset about. I knew what I was going to write about because of it. Like I didn't necessarily want to, but I knew it was just going to come out.
Yeah.
And so I sat down with his guitar, and I was like, well, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it on his. And I had that line in my head, and I just based everything around it. And then it was cool. It was almost like writing it with him. I'm not going to say like an apparition appeared or anything like that, and I wrote a song with him, but I'm like, it was almost like he was there. And it was like, it was a style of music that I didn't play quite as much. Like it's very folky, you know, and he was like real big into that stuff and like the finger style, and I can't play that, at least back in. And I was like, I did the best I could, and it's just that little basic walk line, and just wrote it from his viewpoint, tried to write it as if he was writing with me. And I just loved the song. Like that first line was the first one that come out, and it just came like in order. Like it wasn't a write a chorus, write a verse. It just flowed.
Yeah.
And I'm just up there by myself with his guitar, and it stuck, man. Like
That's awesome.
It was cool.
Yeah.
I guess
It
it feels weird to say, but
What's funny is how many of us musicians have a song that is from suicide.
I think we all deal with
Yeah, I
it.
mean Monsters and I know Jarrett Ray Reddick. He released one not too long ago. He just posted a video today and because I think this is Suicide Awareness Month, September. I think
Yeah.
it is. That's what he said. So I'm gonna repost Monsters probably this week. And it's it's you gotta civilians. I call them civilians, like the people that don't do what we do. They see us on a stage, they see us drinking and having a good time and partying and doing all the cool stuff. They don't see all of the rejection and all of the negativity and all of the, I mean, just constantly getting doors shut in your face, and then you work your butt off to book a gig, and then you play that gig, and it's like it's not
what you thought it.
Yeah, it's
You're
like
playing to a room that nobody cares.
Sometimes it's a pointless gig. I mean, there's no such thing as a pointless gig, because all of those gigs will get you to the point where you can play the big, you know what I mean? But it's like they don't see all that, They just see us. They just see the golden spot
for sure.
And really, dude, that's what I was trying to do with the old podcast, and I was trying to do that with my Facebook, was trying to let just the general public know what all we have to deal with. It wasn't so much of me complaining. It was more of like this is what we have to deal with on a daily basis. And it just got to the point where
it's hard, man. It's like, it's one of the few jobs that, and it is a job, but it's one of the few jobs that you can't complain about, because people just think you're ungrateful.
Exactly.
And then you've got to bottle that in, and you can't let it out. And then what happens? I mean,
yeah.
It's crazy, man.
And I was using the podcast as well as my social media as kind of therapy, to be honest with you, like get out there and I gained a lot of respect from a lot of people by doing it, but I also closed a lot of doors.
I could see how it come across the wrong way.
For sure. 100%. Me too. And that's why I cleaned it up, and that's why I don't do it anymore, and we're not going to do it. It's going to be, we're going to talk about songs.
And good on you for realizing that too. I mean, like, some people
it wasn't
just
me.
keep on.
It was, there was a few people, Peyton Howie's mom, got me there. Also Jarrett Ray Reddick, like just a little conversation him and I had. There was a few, Candace also. I mean, there was multiple people that and even Trent Cowie, that day I was hanging out with him, and he was like, yeah, there was about a 6-month period where I was just kind of scrolling right by your stuff. Just
that's what it takes sometimes. Like even on like the depression front, like my biggest turning point on a lot of that, when I was dealing with some stuff when I was younger, was a buddy of mine coming up, and he's like, look, dude, I can't hang out with you anymore. He's like, you're not Joey anymore. I was like, whoa. Like, it clicks. That's what it takes sometimes. But like, there's people that'll take the criticism or the advice or whatever else and actually take it to heart and change. There's other ones that just won't. Yeah. So good on you for taking the steps.
Well, I just feel like now I don't have anybody. I just feel like now I don't have an outlet. And what I don't want to happen is I don't want me to start holding all that stuff in, and then it turn into resentment. Like that's why I've always kind of been a guy that just says what's on his mind that way. Because if it's out there, it's like it's out there. Like I said it's out there. Whatever happens is going to happen, but it's not in my head anymore. It's not eating at me. You know what I mean? But what Jarrett told me, I think it was Jarrett, he just basically told me that I can't live there. He's like, just don't live there. Like, you can say that something happened. You can say something screwed you over. You can say whatever you want to say, but like, just say it. Don't live there. There's no use in railing on the same thing over and over and over. Yeah. And I agree with him 100%. Not only that, I also, I've also changed my mindset on what's important and what's not. And, and I want to focus on the things that are important. And to me, what's the most important is two things. One, playing my songs for people who care. Yeah. And two, spotlighting other people that are doing rad stuff, right? Like, those are the two things that I love more than anything. And being the way that I was kind of closing avenues to be able to do those two things. And those two things are much more important than me railing on.
You become known for that and not for the music.
Right.
I mean,
yeah,
it's hard.
Yeah, it's very hard. Very, very, very hard. But, I think it's already starting to have a positive impact. I mean, I think because it's been like 3 or 4 months since I've been on this kind of new journey, and it's already. I mean, there's always going to be. First of all, no matter what you do, you can just be all rainbows and butterflies. Someone's going to have an issue with it. Like,
definitely.
And that's another part of the mental thing on this industry is, it's like
the moment you get any success, you've got so many people, so many negative comments, and just people not. I don't know.
Yeah.
Trolls on the internet and little things. Like, it's so easy for that stuff to get to you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so easy.
I have the 2 mottos now that I talked about. One last night is like, now I put it in a song. And I think Peyton Howie's the one that told me that. And
that's
it's
awesome.
Like, put it in a song. Like, if you got something that is important enough for you to get on the internet and complain about, figure out a way to put it in a song.
Yeah, dude.
And put it out that way.
Advice you could get,
and just let it go. you know. And the other one is I don't remember what the other one was, but whatever, it's not important. But like those, you know, I have some new kind of
Yeah.
philosophies on things, you know what I mean? And also just let people do what they want to do, and you know, just don't disrespect me, because if you disrespect me, then that's a different
Makes sense.
issue, you know.
This
what
is
I mean?
definitely going to be a hard one to stay on topic, because we actually haven't sat down and actually talked and hung
you're
out.
right.
It's only been at gigs, and then it's
Yeah.
like I rush back home. So,
Yeah, you're right.
oh
I'm
my
sorry.
gosh, dude! I'm glad I finally get to hang out and talk with you.
But we're still talking about writing.
No,
We're
we
talking,
are.
you know,
Yeah, no, it's still relevant.
And
It's fine.
overall, that's what it's about. You know, it's about us getting all this shit in our head out.
And yeah, and then honestly, I think a lot of that is what played into my buddy that took his life, was that type of stuff. I think a lot of it played to it. He had went on one of those shows that you get in front of judges and sing, and he got shot down, and it wrecked him.
Yeah.
And they didn't even air it, and so he's like got people trying to watch, and you don't know if you're going to appear on it, like on the actual TV show or not for the auditions, and had everybody watching it just to even see him up there, and then they didn't even air him.
Yeah.
He was on there for about half a second on like some little intro thing, but like wasn't singing. It was just like during the intro, he just flashed on.
Well, dude, I'm not gonna lie. It was like 3 or 4 months ago. I went through it pretty bad, man. I was laying in bed one night, and I was just like I'm tired. I'm tired of living. I'm tired of being here. I'm tired of dealing with everybody's shit. I'm tired of so many people. I mean, I live in a very congested area. I'm tired of that. I'm tired of the industry. I'm tired of, you know, a lot of the musicians. I'm tired of trying to keep a full band together.
Oh man,
I'm tired of the expectations. I'm tired of not having any money. I'm tired of struggling.
well, then you live under a microscope, and anything
Right.
you do wrong gets blown up.
Exactly. And so I was like, you know, and there was about a week long period. I mean, I had to have a talk with Candace. I'm like, I'm just having thoughts that I'm,
Yeah.
you know, and luckily, you know, I'm a pretty strong-minded person, and not saying that people that do that aren't, but it's like, you know, I can pull myself out of that pretty quick.
Everyone has their breaking point.
But,
I mean,
yeah.
it doesn't mean you're not. If people are there that do that, you know, it's not necessarily they aren't, but
Yeah.
everyone has a breaking point.
Yeah.
Some people, their point's different than somebody else's. It's not. Yeah.
Well, I'm really glad you put that song out, man. It's
Dude,
a good tune. I love
it's-
it. It's great, man.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's
Did you
hard.
play it last night?
Yeah. No, actually.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Yeah, no, I gave the option. I was like, do y'all want one that's released or unreleased? And we went with the unreleased.
Cool.
I only did one last night that's actually out, and that was the one about my granddad.
Oh, cool.
So,
Yeah. Yeah, it's just a good tune, man. And it's very hard for me to play sporadically on the guitar and sing at the same time. And you do that on that song.
luckily, that was not too bad. Like, it's 2 chords over and over with just like a little bass
But still,
line.
it's like you're
But
hitting
it's-
separate
yeah,
strings
for sure.
and like
I've been trying to work on that stuff, and honestly, he's the one that pushed me to do a lot
That's
of that.
cool.
He's the one that pushed me to do original music.
yeah.
Dude, I had no desire. I was happy paying my bills,
Same
making
here.
a living, playing covers. And cover gigs can suck, don't get me wrong. Sometimes it's like popping into a job. Other times it's really cool. But dude, I get to pay my bills doing music. I never thought I'd be there.
Yeah.
Like, I never did. And so, like, I'm already where I planned on being. And then he always pushed. He was like, dude, you got to play him out. You got to play him out. You got to play him more. Like, you need to write more. And just was always just an advocate for original music. And he was such an incredible songwriter and performer. And when he died, I was like, dude, I have to do it. Like, if nothing else, like, I have to try it. Like, if nothing else, for, you know, in honor of him. And so it was very important to me. Like, even the first song that I put out and then took down was Dear E, which I redid now and put out. And it was about him, you know. And then Better Man, it was very important to me. I almost didn't, because I liked the song and I didn't want to put like your best song first or whatever. Not that I think it's my best song, but like, it had to be that one
Yeah.
because of him. I mean, and it's a lot of good came out of a really crappy situation.
Yeah.
And it's one of my favorite things about music, honestly, is like, you take this dark, ugly, terrible thing and you turn it into something beautiful. And then, like, even after he passed, like, we had somebody of ours start a charity called the Campfire Fund, and they take men and they put them through counseling for free, and we just raise money for them, and it's all discreet. Like, you don't even, if I remember correctly, like, you don't even have to contact the Campfire Fund to do it. Like, you go to the therapist and they're like, and let them know, or something. You contact them and let them know that you're interested. So it's all just completely anonymous, and you don't have to worry about it. And so a lot of good things came out of it, but I mean, it's It's hard, man.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it's one of those things where, you know, you hate that it happened, but but you just, you know, you did what you could to make it the best out of that situation. Yeah.
definitely.
Well, it's a great song, man.
I appreciate it.
You're like, you got a really cool voice, very unique voice, but dude, you give 110% to every single note of every single song you play. And it, like, sometimes watching you play, it's almost like it hurts sometimes. And that's so cool. Like, it's so rad. And that's, you know, and when I knew you were special, I'm not going to lie, was when we played at Sawyer Park in January for my birthday. We did Can't You See at the end of the night.
Yeah.
Okay. And I released a video of it. And, like, Daniel sang part of it. And then when you sang the third verse, you could hear the crowd go nuts. Right? Like, because of you, not because of my band, because they've been watching me for an hour, not because of Daniel, like, because of your voice and your stage presence. Like, you can audibly hear the crowd start cheering when you start singing.
It's always really fun because I'm really bad about, like, not complimenting myself or, like, not taking it well, because, like, imposter syndrome and all that stuff. Like, I know I can belt and I know I can sing. I worked really hard to get there. I remember the first time I heard Chris Stapleton, I was like, oh, I want to be able to do that. And I would just sit in there and just try it. And I never hit the notes. Like, even when I first started on the bar scene, I was known for Tennessee whiskey, but I couldn't hit the notes. And so, like, I just kept trying it. I'd miss it, and then I'd switch it up. And just every time I'd try it again, a little closer, but miss it, and just worked on it. But it's real cool, like, a show. Like, people will hear something recorded, and none of my songs show that off, like, show off my voice at all, at least the released ones. And
yeah, mine don't either.
Yeah, and they'll see me live, and they're like, dude, I didn't know you could sing like that.
Yeah.
Like, dude, it's fun.
Yeah, you know, that's why I always try to throw in a cover like With or Without You or Lightning Crashes or something like that. Like,
I love doing Lightning Crashes.
It really shows my range.
Yeah.
And I kind of think it takes people by surprise live.
And there was like one part of Better Man that, like, I'll, at least live, I don't remember if I had it really recorded, but, like, I'll get into it. Like, there's a line of it where it starts with the line that he wrote. It was, the man I was thought that he knew the man I was going to be, but this wretched failure in the mirror keeps staring back at me. And then that next line is, maybe if he was gone, you'd finally be free. And, like, that line, it's like I always just belt on it because I just, it's emotional. It's like, maybe if this piece of crap that's looking back at me in the mirror wasn't here, you'd finally, like, I'm a burden to you, you know, or to the world or to my significant other or whatever. It's like, I feel like a burden, and maybe if I was gone, like, you'd finally be free of me. And, like, just that idea and getting, like, dude, you take on the lyrics. You do, even if it's something that I didn't write about me and I wrote about somebody else. Like, you take on those lyrics. You were that person for that song, almost like an actor or something, like a method actor or whatever. And you mean it. And when you mean it, like, it comes out like that, at least for me.
Yeah,
and it's,
same here.
Dude, there's nothing like it.
Yeah, I think, and people notice that. You know, there's a lot of people out there that get up on a bar stool or whatever and play songs, and they're just playing the song, right? There's nothing. They might have a great voice, they may be really good on guitar, but, like, when you watch them, it's like they're here.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And then there's other people that are, like, just may not have the greatest voice or may not be the best guitar player, but their performance is up here. And to me, that's more important than the other part, because that's where the magic happens, and that's how you touch people's soul. Definitely. You know what I mean? And you have that in spades, which is really, really awesome.
Honestly, I think a lot of that comes from the church background.
Oh, yeah?
Like, I really do. Like,
I could see that for sure. Yeah. Cool. Well, hey, man, do you want to play the song for him?
Yeah, we'll do it.
You want to do that?
Yeah.
Let's do it to it, man. Hey, y'all check out Joey Collins. Where do they get you at?
Oh gosh. All social media should just be Joey Collins Music. I think it changes, like, Joey Collins .music or whatever. But just make sure it's me, not the guy in the UK. There's a really, really talented artist in the UK named Joey Collins that puts out music too.
Oh, cool.
And so I'll go to put stuff out, and it gets, like, thrown on, like, his stuff, and also make sure you got the right one. But if you get him, I mean, I like his music.
Check them both out. You know what I mean? Check out Joey Collins UK and check out Joey Collins Alabama. You're home.
Yeah, I was born and raised in Pensacola, Florida, and then we moved a few minutes up the road in Alabama. So we've always lived, like, really close to the state line.
Yeah.
Even Pensacola, like, we were more north towards Alabama. wasn't quite Pensacola, but
And you got a show here
so I
tomorrow.
live in Alabama now. Yeah, I'm
You got a show here tomorrow, and then you head out
Yeah.
to. I mean, this will already be out, but and then you're heading back.
yeah, I'm playing with Caleb Tuesday. We're doing a little song swap, and then I got one stop in Louisiana on the way back
Cool.
home. So
All right, well, let's play the song for him.
Yeah, man, let's
Dude,
do
thanks
it.
for coming on.
yeah.
Think the blues become my favorite color, 'cause it's the feeling that I feel the most inside. I wish that I could trade it for another, but I always seem to lose that fight. I wish I was a better man, one who's fair to hold her hand, but I'll just do the best that I can and hope it's enough. Hope I'm enough. And then I was thought that he knew the man I was gonna be. But this wretched failure in the mirror keeps staring back at me. Knowing maybe if he were calm, you'd finally be free. And I wish I was a better man, one who's fair to hold her hand. Oh, but I'll keep on doing the best that I can and hope it's enough. I hope I'm enough. I wish I was a better man, one who's fair to hold her hand, but I can't change who I am, and it's not enough, and I'm not enough. It's not enough, never enough.